Hope everyone's doing well. I wanted to talk about this coronavirus thing today because everyone is talking about it. So, there is a lot going on with this coronavirus thing, and a lot of even my friends are jumping on me. In fact, I've even lost a few friends over this, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that I'm not really following the mainstream media. I think that's what's going on. And I'm getting a lot of flack because of it. A lot of people are really jumping on me, telling me that I'm out of line, I'm ignorant, my ignorance is astounding. And I mean, it's kind of hurtful because I feel like it's not true. You're in effect you're getting mad at me because I'm thinking independently. You're getting mad at me because I'm not believing the media. And I'm going to show you what I mean here in a minute. But the thing is, why should I believe in the media? Why should we believe the media? What reason do we have to take the media at face value? Even their own stories and news reports are very inconsistent, and why would I trust something at face value that lies to me every single day? I think it's also interesting to note that this happens to come not only during the peak of flu season. I wouldn't say the peak of flu season, but we are still here at the end of March very much in flu season. And I think it's also interesting that this happens to come from China, the nation that we as Americans are supposed to hate and have beef with, around election time. Around a time where the president who supposedly was supposed to be impeached might be getting reelected. So it's all very interesting, the timing of this illness, and I feel like people are jumping on the bandwagon. So I'm going to tell you why I think what I think, and I'm not going to tell you what to think either. I will say this: whatever you do, think for yourself. Think for yourself, because the media is really creating a lot of hysteria about all of this, and it has affected all of our lives here. I mean, they have just come short of declaring martial law here in America. Over what? Over what? That's what we're going to find out. Because if you ask me, I feel like this is a potentially severe case of the flu. That is my opinion based on everything that I've read. I'm not one to take things for face value. I'm not one to really believe the hype. And I say that as a survivor of H1N1, which I think they call it the swine flu. Somebody corrected me earlier. But the truth is, I had two of these supposedly severe viruses that were more lethal than the flu, and when I got them, they were simply put less severe cases of the flu. So anyways, I want to talk about where I get my numbers from, because a lot of my viewers have been telling me that my ignorance is astounding, I'm stupid, I'm retarded, yada yada yada, because I don't just buy into the media, because I'm not just jumping on the bandwagon because I don't go with the trends. And I'm very quick to be skeptical and say, wait a minute, who's saying this and why are they saying this? What's their end game here? Because when you look around at this corona thing, you will see that the main people that are suffering are the poor people and small business owners. And I know a lot of small business owners, and I can tell you right now, they are hurting very bad, and if they don't get some kind of a government bailout, their asses are finished, because they did not get any kind of income during this time. They had to find a way, even if the income, or even if their bills have been put on pause, they still haven't found a way to get income, which is what they need. So there's a lot of people whose livelihoods and even lives are on the line because of this coronavirus. And it really upsets me a lot when I talk about it and people say, well, we have to quarantine and we have to obey the media, otherwise we're going to flood the hospitals and people aren't going to be able to get care. Well, wait a minute, if the media wasn't hyping this damn thing up, how would we even know the difference? You see, the only reason we would be running to the damn hospital in the first place is because the media is hyping this up. Now, this is my opinion. You can think whatever you want. The only thing that I ask you to do is think for yourself. Stop being sheep. Stop being followers. Stop believing whatever the media tells you. They make news up all the time. They deliberately, blatantly lie to you sometimes. And their stories can be inconsistent from reporter to reporter or from network to network. So, I want to show you guys a few stats that I looked up that I found incredibly helpful. So, you'll notice here, according to the CDC, flu season beginning October 2019, illnesses reported 36 million to 51 million, hospitalizations 370,000 to 670,000, deaths 22,000 to 55,000. Now, that is about on par with the coronavirus, if not more dangerous than the coronavirus. This is the flu we're talking about here, not the coronavirus. This is flu season beginning October 19. Now granted, it's March. It's the end of March, but it's March. We're still in this. So that's the deaths and that's the stats. Let me show you another one. If you Google coronavirus disease, you'll notice the first paragraph under symptoms says people may be sick with the virus for 1 to 14 days before developing symptoms. The most common symptoms of coronavirus, COVID-19, are fever, tiredness, and dry cough. Most people, about 80%, recover from the disease without needing special treatment. Now, we're not just talking about the people who don't need special treatment or need special treatment. There's a large number of these needing special treatment that don't necessarily die from this. They just maybe needed some antibiotics, medicine, whatnot, what have you. So, show you another article about it. According to Live Science, all this you can Google. So, for people telling me I'm not doing my research, you're wrong. I am doing my research. You just don't like the research that I'm finding because I'm thinking for myself and I'm not following the mainstream media. According to Live Science, the new coronavirus causing COVID-19 has led to more than 454,000 illnesses and more than 20,550 deaths worldwide. For comparison, in the US alone, the flu, also called influenza, has caused an estimated 38 million illnesses, 390,000 hospitalizations, and 23,000 deaths this season, according to the CDC. Do you know what that means? It means that according to the CDC, the flu is deadlier. If we're talking statistics, the flu is deadlier. 390,000, 23,000 deaths in America alone. 454,000, 20,550 deaths worldwide, COVID-19. So, we really get hyped up and quarantined over this COVID virus. Well, why don't we do that every year for the flu? You see, you gotta look at the angle here. Spectrum News said 101,000 cases of coronavirus, but only 1,500 deaths. Now that's about 1.5%. That's actually, no, I take that back. That's about 1%. Okay? So, why is it that we're making such a big deal out of this? I mean, the infection rate is supposedly greater, so we're all going to get it. It's a matter of time. I mean, hell, we get the flu every damn season. What's the angle? You know, you got to wonder, why is this so in our face? Why are they making us stay home? And this is, and again, I'm not really saying anything as much as I want people to think about this instead of just follow the mainstream media and be sheep out here. Think for yourself. form your own fucking opinion and stop believing the bullshit from the media, because they make shit up and lie to you all the time, and everything they tell you has to be taken with a grain of salt. That's my point. If you want to believe the COVID virus is deadlier, that we need to quarantine, that is fine. I totally respect your well thought out, educated opinion. Let me give you an example. My colleague John that I work with, he's decided to quarantine his family. And for the sake of health, he thought it necessary to put our show on Hiatus right now that we host, Is That For Real? So our show Is That For Real is on hiatus right now because he felt the need to quarantine his family, not only to keep his family safe, but to keep elderly and other people that are susceptible to this virus safe. Now, I respect his decision, and I'll tell you why. Because he has made an educated decision, choosing not to just blindly follow the media. Now, his decision is more in line with the mainstream media, and that's where me and him respectfully disagree, because I have a more distrusting demeanor towards the media. I am more likely to seek out conspiracies and really just doubt that the information being fed to me is credible or legitimate. So I'm very inclined to be very skeptical of networks and people that I feel have a lot of power and a lot of control, who can easily manipulate me into thinking and doing whatever they want me to think and do. So, nevertheless, I respect his decision. You see, I'm not trying to tell people to think anything either way. Me and John had a long conversation about it because I said, damn, I really hate that we're canceling the show. But once he explained to me that he had done his own research, he came to his own conclusions. He thought about it, and he felt that it was necessary for not only his neighborhood, for the environment, but also for his family. I respected it. I said, well, John, if that's what you feel like you must do, then so be it. At least he made an educated decision. I can respect it. So I think we all need to think independently here. And we need to think about this virus for ourselves. Whether you want to quarantine or whether you don't want to quarantine, whether you think this is a big deal, worse than the flu or nothing, that's up to you. Just make a educated decision. This is what I tell everybody. Decide for yourself what you feel like you must do. Don't follow the masses. And try to respect other people, because I'm not really getting a lot of respect right now because of my decision, because I personally feel like the media is trying to scare me or distract me. I feel like they're trying to get me to look this way when something this way is going on that they don't want me to know about. And as a survivor of H1N1 and one of those other ones that they had, within 10 to 15 years, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced because I've seen this happen before, and anytime something like this happens, the first thing I think is, what's the angle? But you guys are entitled to think what you want. Just please, let's all try to respect each other's decision on this. I don't personally care for John's decision. I feel it is a tad unnecessary. However, I am not a doctor. I am not a professional. So I really can't dictate whose way is better. Not to mention, he made an educated decision on it, and so I respect it, even if I don't personally feel it is necessary. So, I feel like we all need to have that respect for each other. Alright, let me show you another article that I personally liked. Okay, so this is basically what I was talking about a minute ago. So according to CNN Health, COVID-19 is more infectious than flu. It appears a person who is infected with COVID-19 spreads it to more people than the flu. Notice it says it appears, not it's been confirmed. So even they don't know. To more people than the flu. So it may spread farther and faster than the flu. Yet, more people still get the flu that are in close quarters with each other. You see, a lot of it just doesn't line up and make sense to me. I'll show you another article. Okay, so they say that this is not the flu, and Granted, I am no professional at all. I'm just some regular guy who likes to do a lot of videos, vlogging, creative content, non-mainstream shit. I'm just a regular Joe. So, flu symptoms. Because people with corona, or people that talk about corona, say, well, this one's different. It attacks your respiratory system. Okay. The flu. I Googled the flu. A common viral infection that can be deadly, especially in high-risk groups. The flu attacks the lungs, nose, and throat. Young children, older adults, pregnant women, and people with chronic disease or weak immune systems are at high risk. So the flu attacks the lungs too. What we're dealing with is a lot like the flu. I'm not going to say it's the flu because, again, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm not a professional. So I'm not going to sit here and make up shit as if I know more than anybody else. I just do my own research and think for myself. You got to do that too. All right. Last but not least. So, I'm not sure if I read this already. I think I might have actually read this, but this is from Yale Medicine. Okay? I haven't read it yet. All right, good. So, Yale Medicine on their website state, according to the WHO, World Health Organization, globally there are more than 500,000 confirmed cases of people with COVID-19 and almost 25,000 people have died from the disease. A death toll. Sorry about that, my camera shut off for some reason. But what I was saying was on Yale Medicine's website, according to the CDC, it was 500,000 cases and I think 23 or 25,000 deaths. And a lot of those deaths, from what I've seen, are elderly people or people with compromised immune systems. So, what I wanted to say was that if this turns out to be needless hysteria, and we will have lost all of these small businesses, and we would have an overwhelmed medical system because people are needlessly afraid of something that has turned out to be no more dangerous than the flu. I think that would be a terrible thing. And again, I'm no professional. I am just another guy out here who does his own research. So, if that turns out to be true, I just think that that would be a terrible thing. Especially if the media did it to either help private medical institutions to have more money, or they did it because of the current political environment in America right now and we needed a distraction. I mean, either way, if this was needless hysteria that caused all of this, because the media is hyping this up and keeping us scared with their alarmist possible propaganda, I just feel like that would be a very sad thing. I feel like that would be a terrible thing. And so that is basically what I wanted to say. And I encourage everyone out there to do your own research, decide for yourself how you feel like you should care for yourself and your family at this time. So that about covers it. And thanks for watching.